It's your boy Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, and it is time for the top 16 of the December 2022 Chalislime Monthly. We have got an incredible lineup for you today, some truly incredible duelists and decks in the top 16, which I will rattle off for you right now. In Top Cut, we have 6 copies of Ishizu Tearlament, 5 copies of Sprite, 1 apiece of Fluondereeze, branded Tearlament, Punk, ABC, and our feature match, Labyrinth. I am so excited to be sharing them with you, and I'm also excited to introduce our co-commentator for this round, the one, the only, faraway programmer. How are you doing today?
I'm good, bro. You fucking threw me into the deep end here.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, yeah, just go for it.
You called me, said nothing, and then went on content mode. So I'm ready. I'm hype. I'm pumped.
Okay.
Share so I can see the game.
Yeah, I guess I probably should. So we are going to be watching LX Blunt Edge, the funny smoking weed man that we got to see play Shrug, on Tearlament, and they are going to be playing against Yukie on Labyrinth. So I'm going to let them know that we are ready for them, and then we are going to get to see some true Labyrinth gaming. Let me see if I can share just the window. Does this work for you?
It absolutely does. Let me.
All right, and we are in.
All right. Let's do this like that, and we're good. We get to watch some Yu-Gi-Mons. Let's go.
So it looks like either the lab player won the die roll, or this is the biggest brick that Tearlament could possibly make.
True.
I will say,
which one's the lab player? Do we know which one's the Labyrinth player?
Yeah, it's the person who went first. Yukie, it's the non-English characters there.
Nice.
Yep, and we're going to begin with a welcome Labyrinth. I got to tell you, in a potential world where, like, Tearlament doesn't exist, or the Bystials were never printed, I really like Labyrinth. I think it's got a lot of potential as we move into Photon Hypernova format.
I mean, I know a lot of the pro players were talking about it and saying, like, that post, like, Photon Hypernova, this deck was actually the sauce. I don't know how I feel about playing the clock, though. I'm pretty sure that card's pretty mid.
Ooh, I absolutely disagree. So I think that the deck changes extremely as we move into Photon Hypernova and shies away from kind of establishing the resource loop with a ton of really good cards and starts relying on, like, auto-win trap cards that are, like, functionally searchable with exactly Coup Clock. The builds that I've seen get the most success in, like, a post-Photon Hypernova format are, like, functionally just Coup Clock Turbo, playing, like, no Stovey, no Torby, just sitting on the boy.
I see. Well, I'm seeing what is that? That's not Medora. That's Keldo, pitch Kelbeck. Must be nice. Mill 5.
Decent.
It's time to get it twisted, boys.
We grabbed an Agito, right? And it looks like this is what Yukie is playing also. Look at these sick one-of trap cards. We've got
Tears
IDP.
of Overroot.
Tears of the Overroot is so
cool
sick.
Card. I love this card. I think this card's even in Mass Duel, and I think even in Mass Duel, this card's really playable in Labyrinth.
All right, so from the Tearlament player, we did hit not only, of course, the Rhino Heart, but because we were able to search the Agito by pitching the Kelbeck, at point of resolution, the Agito has seen that cards have gone from the opponent's deck to the graveyard and can summon itself. This is why I personally am a fan of Ban Keldo. The fact that it's 3 material and also interruption on field is just so annoying.
I love how we just pendulum summoned 4 level 4 monsters out of absolutely nowhere before a fusion summoning, so we can now go into some rank 4 plays that can definitely do a lot of cool shit, or just link into whatever the hell your heart desires.
It's cool. It's cool. No, it's all fine. It's all cool. It's all enjoyable.
How do you feel about Tearlament still being the best deck and the format not changing at all? Not now, not in the foreseeable future.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. I think that I don't know if I'd call it the best deck in, like, I assume you're talking about, like, the OCG format where people are still tinkering with it.
Yeah, I know you think it's like a week 1 thing. That's like,
no, I've moved off that position. I don't think it's a week 1 thing. I think it's got staying power, but I don't think it's the best deck. I don't know how it's going to evolve in America as well. So we'll see, but I am definitely getting sick of it. I'll say that. It's fun when both players are playing the whole time. When you're doing the Dracosac combo, it's a little less interesting.
What I will say, though, right now is that having the Bystial in the hand of the Labyrinth player definitely puts them in a position where they can do stuff and not immediately lose a duel. However, I definitely think that the tier player with Perlarino obviously is going to be
decent,
so far ahead in advantage. That's absolutely insane.
You know, so sometimes you're just good at Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't really know what to tell you.
Like, imagine just having everything, and then on top of having everything, you have the best card in your deck.
We watched Alex Bluntedge lose in Swiss to Shrug there. I think a member of the FCS Discord. Not often you see like players simply this skilled. You know. The thing I dislike about Labyrinth though is what you're seeing right here. You know, you do have to be playing some number of Bystials because that's just the format. You have to be playing this version of the deck is maxed out on Lady Lab of the Silver Castle. It's playing some number of Kuklok. It's playing Ariana. Like, it's really easy to just accidentally draw too many monsters and just like set 2 pass has to win you the game, and frequently it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the big issue. Like, Labyrinth definitely needs like 3, maybe even 4 traps to have the, you know, the disruption power needed. But here we go into Dweller. What do you think they're really afraid of? Do you think they don't want Welcome to get reset for whatever reason?
Yeah, I think it's just a precaution, to be honest.
Yeah, because I assume they're going to start getting it twisted and milling more cards.
Yep, and there we go. Yep.
So correct me if I'm wrong. They've already fused with Merly, and then the Havness was attempting to fuse but got Sereneered. So now they only have the Sheeran fusion left, right?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. So in that case, if they do get to fire off the Sheeran, which they could, I guess, if they mill it here or if they go into a Redoer, then realistically they're just going to make a Kitkalos and won't be able to climb to a Rukalos or a Kaleido Heart. So that's pretty relevant, I guess.
I think we're activating a Guido here.
Yeah, I think we're milling
so
5 and getting
this is probably why we're making Abyss Dweller, is like we intend to Agido during the turn, and you know that this deck is on like Kuklok, it's on potentially Torby, potentially Backjack, and those do trigger. Here, of course, we're going to see nothing.
Hit nothing. Yeah,
literally.
That's
nothing.
crazy. Because the thing that I would find weird is like, why would you bother firing off the Dweller before even knowing if you mill Agido? Rather than just mill Agido, go Agido chain 1, Dweller chain 2. Is there really a reason not to do that?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's a matter of inches.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, so we are going...
Wow. These mills were crazy, by the way.
Yeah, CL1 Sheeran, CL2. I believe that's Scare or Scream CL2, and then CL3
Why are we
Compulse.
compulsing the Rhino? Oh, do you think they activated... Wait, what attribute is the Muddragon right now?
Muddragon's dark. Yeah, that's why we can't
Okay.
do the Sheeran.
Yeah, do you think they intended to like hit the Sheeran or something? And then they were like, wait, I can't. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're in a weird position here because like if we so desire, we can pop the Sheeran with the Mudora using Pellerino. But it's also in a weird position because like you said, if we're not going to be able to get from Kitkalos into like Rukalos, then the next best thing is like Kaleido Heart lines, but that requires the Rhino Heart to be in rotation, and now we hit it at a point where it was banished when it leaves the field, so maybe.
Yeah.
All right, we are going Kit here.
Another thing that's really relevant.
Add the trap here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like they set a trap that they wanted, and just like, well, I'm going to get rid of it now. Another relevant thing with a Muddragon that I think is super annoying when playing against this card is also the fact that it prevents you from targeting your own monsters. And the amount of times that like Labyrinth needs to compulse its own guy to make like a unique play, you just don't have that option at all under Muddragon Call Dark. So it protects them and also prevents some lines for yourself to play.
It frequently comes up in the mirror because you'll like be on a Muddragon and both of you are comboing off on both turns, and you can turn off your opponent's ability to do the Kaleido Yoinky Sploinky by calling Dark. Because it has to target
Kaleido
something.
Yoinky Sploinky. I love that term. So what do you think they're going for here? It feels like they're like thinking.
Yeah, I do like Crime. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention earlier. I don't know if we already have Celiac in rotation, but I imagine we do if we're going for that.
I believe the Celiac was already added off of the milled Scream. So in that case,
so we just get as
Celiac
many shots at
Crime.
hitting stuff with
Oh, this is also really kind of crusty because you get to Redoer on the opponent's turn. And when you're playing as Labyrinth, the odds of you hitting a trap off the top are not 0. They are fairly high. So they can hit a trap, top deck something, and get the Sheeran Fuse all off of one Redoer.
Decent. Seems okay.
What a crazy card. What an absolutely
You could do the entire line while your opponent is under Abyss Dweller. It's all right.
Insane.
The thing that frustrates me the most about Tearlament, I think, and this is, I guess it's just me who's sick in the head this way, going for Zeus as well, is the 500 attack boost. Like, it's just like
It's not needed. It's not necessary.
doesn't need it. The 500 attack boost, the 500 scream decrease. I'm just like, there's no reason that this exists except to
The
frustrate
scream
me here.
decrease also like just applies at some point and just says, yeah, the rest of the turn, all your opponents,
Yeah,
guys, they're
good
all
luck.
fucked, all of them.
So obviously we have to do this in draw so that a significant amount of silly stuff can happen.
Remind me, does Redoer's top deck effect target? I believe it does not.
What do you mean? Just steal from the top?
No, the effect, like if it has a trap card attached.
Oh,
If
no,
you
it doesn't.
Which it does right now. You just
Awesome.
get to use that under the Mud Dragon. And, like,
It's
it
very
doesn't
funny.
matter. It's fucking crazy. Jesus
It's a
Christ.
very funny card. It's a comedy.
What a like this is so good against Labyrinth. Like making the Redoers is so nuts.
And
Like,
this is
is
just
top
the thing,
deck,
like,
whatever you want, and fuse. Just go ham.
I really do like the concept of Labyrinth, but it just can't keep up with this. This is just too much. You're trying to one for one 2 or 3 times.
I will play devil's advocate here. I think the only deck that can keep up with this is Flu. And not for the reasons you think. It's because Flu just is equipped to counter specifically this deck.
I think that Cash Tira has a pretty good shot at it too, post Hypernova.
Post
but
support?
yeah.
Maybe. Definitely possible.
It helps to have a
Definitely
big ass macro at all times.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the deck that says I want everything in the graveyard doesn't
have the
play
Sulliek,
well when
yeah.
it doesn't have the grave. Yes, Sulliek and Crime. I do not see them losing here. I really don't. There you go.
All right, quick game 1. No time in top cut, but Yukie says, yeah, we're no reason to play this one out. Come on. Predictions up.
Yeah. So what are the? You said that Lab plays like all the power cards right now. Are they on stuff like the Dimension, not Dimension Fusion, the Dimensional Barrier, the Macrocosmos, the Di-Fi? I'm not too familiar with how the build is post Photon Hypernova, so I figure that's your area of expertise.
So this build is going to be a little different because they are missing some Hypernova stuff. But after Hypernova, I don't even know if they're on like Macro Di-Fi. They're on like Necro Valley, like Skill Drain, and then everything else is like a normal trap that reads win the game.
Honestly, that sounds very fun. Oh, there's
Speaking
a
of
shifter.
cards that
That's a
win the
good
game,
card.
Extravagance Chainlink 2 Shifter. This person could do what I could not in Master Duel. Can we set more than 1? Can we set more than 2? Can we set more than 3?
Come on, set 4, activate field. That's all I want to see. Just do it. You know you want to.
Yeah, Rebecca's in chat. After
Ooh.
Hypernova, you just don't play Lady. You just...
That's crazy. Actually, one important question. Can you activate? Okay, so what is the text on Ghastly Glitch?
Said, I'm
Wow.
not going to play. What are you going to kill me?
I mean, hey, it's Lab. What are the odds that they
It's
do
not
it,
a bad idea. I'm not going to lie.
Oh God. So the Ghastly Glitch, can you resolve? Oh my God!
Nice shifter. Excellent
What is
shifter.
going on?
Wait.
Okay, so basically what I'm understanding here, is now Tears gets to play for free, right? That's
Yeah.
basically what's happening.
We're gonna mill 5. This is why I mean,
you love
like,
to see it.
that's why in a post Photon Hypernova format, you're playing like different dimension grounds. So you can respond to them trying to do
Oh
something.
my God, they're playing
Trap!
the
They're
Gravekeeper's
playing
Trap.
Gravekeeper's
What? That's so insane.
You're playing like Metaverse to go into Necro Valley. Like, you need things that last the whole duel because you have no pressure. You can't kill them.
Yeah, that's like I feel like that's like a very common thing with these rogue decks is they'll play like floodgate type cards or they'll do stuff like, yo, in my water deck I'm playing White Howling, but it's like, okay, you White Howling them, they pass. Do you kill them? No. Do you have anything for the next turn? No. Well, you lose anyway.
And when it comes to Tier Limit specifically, killing them is really hard. They have like Havness, 45 Bestials. They've got Kelbeck they can summon.
Overroot is kind of cool here.
Not
you get
bad,
to
not bad.
send the Gravekeeper's Trap to the grave and then set the Keldo back onto the field. The Agido, not the Keldo.
Yeah,
my
so
bad.
it can't hit its activation window, I guess.
Or
does
isn't that
this
the one
pitch
that's
for
activating
cost?
right now?
Kelbeck is activating right now.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
it won't be able to activate. They have to mill
That's
another
neat. But we did hit Sheeran anyway, so who cares?
one. And Scream.
what did we
Sheeran
get
and
here?
Scream.
Nothing.
Sometimes
We
it's
hit
little
Welcome.
crazy.
That's a little frustrating.
Yeah, Welcome is able to set itself back, especially not under the. It doesn't have the Gravekeeper's Trap anymore to prevent that, right? Because isn't that just like Necro Valley basically?
It's like Giga Necro Valley, yeah.
Yeah, I have only read this card once, and it was when Dom Couch played it at a YCS during a feature, and I had to read it to know what the fuck it did.
So it doesn't have the Giga Necro Valley effect unless you're playing Exchange, which you aren't. But the important part is that it's like a Mudora thing. You get to add an Earth Fairy from deck to hand, which is relevant in like Naturia and Badolce.
Hey, the Vernisylphs.
and-
Wait, this adds Vernisylphs? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. it's wild just how good the Ishizu cards are for Earth Fairy decks like Madolche and like anything playing Vernisylphs. It's just overshadowed by the fact that they printed the tier cards.
Yeah, these cards are fair and fun, and also fair.
Yeah. All right, we got to get a little. I think we got to get a little lucky off this Merly. We don't have to get that lucky. We just got to get a very slight amount of lucky.
Yeah, I mean, Rhino Heart does it, and there's the Agito.
That'll
so
do it. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Oh, we hit the Keldo too.
5
Nice.
more. Go for 5 more. And there's the
There's
Sheer
the
and
Havness.
Love to see it.
Hit Mudora as well. From here we hit
Another welcome.
Eevee. That's the game plan, baby.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, Eevee, good card. Is it going to do anything in this exact game state? Probably not. I think the big question that I have is what the hell are these other 3 set back row? Like,
What could they be?
Like-
I imagine
Blood
one
has
is
just
like
been
a
playing
compulse.
for free for like 2-3 minutes right now, and no back row has been flipped. I'm confused.
Like we're waiting on the Kid Kalos to make an appearance so we can compulse it maybe.
We have to fuse with the Merly from hand. Interesting.
Yeah, we want to leave one on field for the Elf probably. Yeah, it's quaking
or the
here,
sprint.
Force Chat. You got
Have
it.
they used Merly to fuse yet? Because you could always go into sprint to like force another fusion.
Yeah, that's a nice concept. We're taking Sheeran here.
Mm-hmm.
We're attempting the Yoinky Sploinky.
The Yoinky Sploinky.
I feel like it's just too tasty a compulse to give up here.
And it's, I mean, you would have hit it before they used the Yoinky Splinky, right? Because otherwise they still get the summon.
They still get the
'Cause
summon. but they
I
don't
believe
get
it
the mill.
summons. Yeah, they don't get the mill
Yeah.
5, but there's the Merly, and
Hitting
then
the
they're
Merly
guaranteed.
here is actually kind of awkward. Because the third one's at the bottom, right? So that's all 3 Merly accounted for, and that turns Sprint off unless we fire one of the names now to get one of them back in deck. But the name can't be Merly.
I mean, that's their last name, right? Because one of them got Bestialed, the Havness made the Kitkalos, and now the Merly
Right.
is making the last fusion.
So we make
So we're
Rukalos
probably going to
here.
see a Rukalos. Yeah. So there will be no
Torrential.
more fusion summoning unless we see, polymerization come down. It really is just a question of what the hell are these back row? Are these back row real and relevant or dead and bluffs?
I have trouble even thinking of 3 that would not be relevant.
That's the thing, right? I feel like you're only playing relevant back row. Like you can EEV this Bestial, right?
Yeah.
Wait, does that trigger the Juris Worm? Not anymore because Dweller's on the board, but
Yeah. Chat asking, did Fuji make top 16? Fuji is not going for the 4-peat. I think he's at Sydney or at home. He's retired.
he might be. Yeah, something like that.
That was wrong.
Well, there's the Dweller being activated. Do we have a response to this, or is our Juris Worm just going quietly
So
into
it
the
could
night?
be like welcome ghastly glitch, like a floodgate that they shouldn't have boarded into. I'm really trying to think. At least one has to be live.
I mean, they have to be. Like, how are you going to... Okay, so we know none of them would be welcome because they would have activated on the previous turn. We know none of them is anything that gets with the field spell. There's no, like, Fiend Griefing there. There
Chat
might
says
be a Ghastly
storming
Glitch.
trust.
Like, Ghastly Glitch can definitely be something that we could see back there just because there was no point where a Fiend was on board to activate it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we literally just have nothing?
Punk is out. Oh man, that was such a sick deck too.
Come on, give us Drowning. Activate Drowning. Just Drowning. Come on.
Drowning. I actually don't think drowning even does anything. We just
Yeah, it
wait
shuffles
till- we
everything
just
back,
shear in
bro.
and we hit a name next turn. We just okay. So we're trying to make the Oh, what was
Sheeran
that?
in main phase 2.
We sent Havness. Yeah, we're making the elf here.
Yeah, Elf bring back the Merly. Oh, Judgment on
It
the
was
Elf.
Judgment. Oh, we didn't want to commit to
Interesting.
the Judgment because we might die.
Yeah, but right now we're in main phase 2, no chance of dying, so no Elf. So all we have to do is contend with a Dweller that doesn't do too much to Labyrinth and a Rukalos. But the big issue is like the Shufflers get to get back literally anything you could ever want, straight up.
We can even like brick our opponent really badly by shuffling back a whole bunch of like shifters and shit.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily brick them because you don't know if they're going to draw them, but it does make it.
He's
Oh,
just
wow,
giving them
there
all
you
the
go.
dog shit cards. Like, enjoy the 2 Welcome Labyrinth. I know that has a grave effect, and you can have a shifter.
Yeah, there you go.
Going through
Why
all the
not?
names here.
And a back row. Do we know what this back row is? I
I
believe they
think we
milled
know
a
it's
scream.
Celiac.
Yeah, that's a little insane. That means Ariana off the top doesn't do anything.
We must have hit both names twice because we're just like trying to roll through everything here.
Even if you didn't hit both names twice, like how much of the shufflers actually do against Labyrinth?
Right. You would probably want to keep them in rotation just to keep a Pellerino draw alive at beating a Floodgate, but outside of that, yeah, they're not super relevant.
Dude, Perlerino is just a card with 3 busted ass effects.
It's really shocking.
Right,
yeah,
we
it
are
was Celiac.
firing
yeah,
the
we're firing that
Celiac.
early.
Big thinking here. Maybe our resident Labyrinth player has a response. Another Solemn
Wow.
Judgment.
Well, this explains that turn then.
Okay, so we are playing against a Resolved Dweller and a Kalos Negate.
I was going to say, does this even do anything? We just get to go grab Havness here, right?
Yeah, how relevant is that though?
It
I
just
don't know.
wins us the game. It's just- like now
Perhaps. I mean, we have 1,000 life points at this point. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the game kind of went out the window.
Okay, hear me out. It's Life Equalizer blasting the ruins.
Oh, dude, that's the one. That's
Life
the one.
Equalizer online.
It is. It is. Now you're talking my language.
When will we see last turn in a CSM?
Dude, we already saw it in Junior Journey.
We did. Don't remind me. We will
It's
never
a
see
great
it again.
episode. What are you talking about, dude? I don't know. Like, 1 back row, 2 in hand. They're
Yeah,
just
that's it.
scooping.
Man,
Well,
that's
I
unfortunate.
mean-
Love Labyrinth, but this is the matchup that it does not want to see.
What a fantastic showcase of just how fair Tier Limit is. I think that's the way I'll put it.
Well, regardless, congrats to Mr. Funny Weed Smoker Man.
Weed!
I believe
420
their
believes it.
their first CSM top, their first premier top. Incredible.
That's a premier top, definitely. Better than a YCS, to be honest.
Yeah, well, maybe better than YCS Sydney. We didn't have any Hungry Burger players. Let's see who else we got on deck.
True. Very, very true.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, back with another round of the top cut of the 2022 December Chalislime Monthly. I am joined once again by my co-commentator, Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Mr. Peeps, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay.
Good. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I've had a nice December. I spent a lot of time off during the holiday season. I had my honeymoon where I absolutely drowned my mobile device, and because two-factor
very
authentication was linked to my phone number, I couldn't access anything online, and it was wonderful. So now I'm back, and I'm ready to jump back into the game.
You've missed so many Twitter main characters of the day, and you've missed the first round of our top cut. We started with 6 tier, 5 Sprite, 1 Flu, 1 Breaded tier, 1 Punk, 1 ABC, 1 Lab, and I'm happy to report that literally all the fun decks are gone. We now have Sprite V tier, an Ish tier mirror, Sprite V Flu, and the match we are watching, Runic Stun versus Ish tier. I'm so excited to be presenting this to you today. This is a list that is playing, of all things, Messenger of Peace. How excited are you to talk about this list, Peeps?
You know what? Surprisingly, I'm extremely excited to
I
talk
bet you
about
are. You're
this.
a little sicko, aren't you? You're a little
I am.
weirdo.
I am a little sicko. I love the fact that this made it into Top Cut, the Runic Stun deck, I mean.
Yeah.
I actually find it a little surprising. I'm surprised that a deck like this is able to compete in this format, but I think the Runic tools are so strong, and the draw up to 3 that the field spell gets you really puts this stun deck over the edge of any other sort of control strategy you could be playing.
And we're seeing a lot of the tools in the graveyard right now. It's playing, I believe, a maxed out playset of Rivalry, Gozen, Teak-Boo, Skill Drain, stuff like that. I think they pick 3 and then they go in on 9. And then if you go for a Kelbeck or a Nagito against a lot of stun decks or decks that have stun capacity like Fluondereeze, obviously the ability to like hit the Ryza or hit the singleton copy of Stree or Toucan is devastating. Against this deck, what are you hitting? Runic cards, which make the follow-up Runic cards insanely powerful. So, yeah, you have to be really careful about how much you're milling and in what capacity. Although here, it looks like Burrito Man has found pretty much everything that he needs. We've got multiple names of all the shufflers. We've got every single tier name just in sequence on top. Isn't that helpful for me who wasn't paying attention for the last 30 seconds? Just lovely.
Yeah, it's really interesting that a deck like the Runic Stun deck can compete here, because you're looking at the setup that Tier Limit going first has just created, and you think, how in the world is the opponent going to play through this, right? They have like all the shufflers, they've milled 17 cards up to this point. I don't know, but apparently it's been successful up to this point, so I'm curious to see how they navigate through it.
It is interesting. You know, in my opinion, I think that this Runic Stun deck has been playable the entire time. Hilariously, the person I saw first prove it was Mount Fuji. May he rest in peace, no longer a member of the Chalislime monthly invitational. But my favorite part of it was that it just had these incredible matchup spreads against so much of the meta, and people just weren't tinkering with it because they were like, I just can't take it. It's just so frustrating to play with. This was actually what I lost to, or what I thought I was losing to in day 2 of Pasadena. It turned out that the person was bluffing stun and was sprite the whole time. They were just playing it like with the stun. But it's got a lot of tools. It's got a lot of game against this deck specifically. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
And another format problem has appeared once again.
Yes, we were talking about this in the backup match last time, but boy, Beatrice is such a house, and now that the Bestials enable every deck to make her with unbelievable consistency, she's very frustrating to play against. Also helps that another card that has 6 stars is Garua, which means here we get to draw a card and we get to send a card, and it was all done off the back of Magnamut, which draws us a card at the end of the turn. Oh, it's just a real whopper of a plopper. Celiac triggering here for Havness. Excellent.
Yeah, this is just watching Tier Limit play, watching Tier Limit perform is, it completely makes me understand why this deck is so powerful, because everything is online all the time. Yeah, just the things that it does are just constantly accessible, and even on top of that, you have extra tools to help you with multiple different kinds of deck. Like I was talking about it before, but Heartbeat, like they gave the deck a spell and trap removal card as part of the archetype. Like they didn't have to do that, but they did. It just has everything. You can do the Magnamut, it's 6 stars, over into the Garua, which is 6 stars. So you have Beatrice, which will also help you get everything. It just, there's no part of the deck that is not accessible at any point in time, it feels like.
I agree.
Yeah. I do want to talk about one card in the Runic player's graveyard, though, if you want to scroll over to that. Triple Tactics Talent. I actually don't think it's in the Runic player's grave. I haven't noticed that in Runic Stun before. I don't know if that's a common thing, but I feel like it's actually quite good in this matchup, because you can use it's either Smiting Storm or Flashing Fire. I can't remember the spell that destroys, but you could destroy like a tier name and cause it to, if they use its effect, that just instantly gets you into the draw to get you more value off the triple tech. So I think it's pretty smart to play that for situations like this when you're forced to go second.
A lot less powerful here when your opponent knows what you're up to. But yeah, you can bluff Sprite pretty easily by activating any Runic spell, forcing an opponent to go into like an early tier in order to stop you from committing to it too. Dragastapelia lines up really well against that strategy. You get to punish them fantastically with the triple tack, either to draw or to just play with perfect information, which in a deck like this is really unmatched.
Right. One other thing about the Millers too, if Tier Limit didn't have enough going for it, what it also has the capacity to do is like one tournament style thing you could do is easily quit if you know you can't win to keep your opponent off information. With
Mhm.
the Ishizu cards, that's just not possible because
Yeah.
you're milling 5 to 10 cards of your opponent.
Wait, is this the end of the game? Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is literally the end of the game.
Wait.
Wait, if you pass here, it's over.
Oh my god. No, they've got to have shufflers. Oh no, no shot.
Okay.
They have to have.
No. There are lines. So, the Time Thief Redoer has material under it, so we can activate the Sheeran to shuffle 2 cards back. But usually it doesn't line up that nicely.
No
I think we've got
way.
some number of shuffler names in here as well. Yeah, we have 2 Mudora and 1 Keldo. So we're not like dead, but putting yourself this close to dead against a deck that's playing Golden Droplet is a little scary.
Oh my gosh. This game, I mean, it was interesting from the start, but now it's like...
It is funny that with this deck, you just get to go, okay, from this moment on, you are dead at any possible opportunity if I ever find droplets and weave it in correctly.
Messenger of Peace! Let's go! I love this fucking card.
All right, I mean, end turn. So we have to go for Redoer here, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go Redoer effect. That's going to detach the Rhino Heart and the Sheeran. I guess theoretically we could do Rhino Heart as well, but we'll go Sheeran. You saw, even though we got the Pot of Desires there, you can elect to not detach it, so you don't have to draw.
Right.
Thank goodness for that. So we go shuffle back some number of tier names. Here, enough for a Kaleido Heart. That's going to pop the Messenger with the effect of the Pellerino.
Right.
We need like a 3 here, and then a way to stop the shufflers if we want to not die. But that's not impossible. There's a lot of 3s.
Pellerino, just an unbelievable card. That's so good.
Yeah, so we get to wipe the board here by using the effect of the Kaleido Heart and the Pellerino to pop the Messenger of Peace in the unknown. Thinking here, that's a 3.
Ooh.
So Slumber will keep them on 0 cards in deck. That'll probably just force out the Mudora or the Keldo targeting their own monsters. Or the Crime. Crime also really good.
Yeah. Crime in the main deck in this list? Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, Crime's pretty standard now. There's just like enough stuff that you want to get rid of. And now that's actually the end of the game. We get to resolve the effect of Havness. We get to resolve the effect of Kaleido.
Yep. I mean, they had everything this game. They literally went through the whole deck. Of course, they had
incredibly funny though. The exact number.
Mud Dragon here. Mud Dragon seems pretty good actually because it stops like the stuff from being. It's targeting, right? That Mud Dragon protects against.
It is, yeah.
That stuff with the same attribute, so I can protect like the Rukalos from flashing fire and stuff like that. I don't think it's really going to matter at this point in the game, but still a cool interaction.
We're going to go tip here, chain Beatrice. This is all in end phase still, right?
Beatrice.
Send Merly.
Yeah.
We're just trying to ensure that like we don't accidentally run out of names here. So by banishing 1 with tip, we put ourselves out of being able to resolve the effect of destruction unless they go for a tier limit name here. So this is kind of weird. If they go for an extra deck monster with the Merly, we put ourselves at the number again that destruction beats. I do think this is all sort of pretense though, because like it just seems like they're just going to win the game when they're able to activate a shuffler, right? So if they activate Kit Kalos here to add, oh, well, now we are going to put ourselves dead to non-activating shufflers, right?
Yeah.
So if the last 2 cards are Destruction Golden Droplet, I think they actually win. But that's a big if. All right, down to 4.
I don't remember what they added with tip, so...
They added Destruction, which is a 4.
Okay.
So Destruction here, we're just going to target one of the random ones, Pellerino. They're letting it resolve.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now we
They
have to
still have
go
shufflers online, right?
Mudora.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put 3 back in. This is such a crazy game already.
What in the world?
Last card evenly
This is
matched.
all
Well,
in the end phase.
we're in end phase, chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to envision a scenario where the tier player doesn't win and I can't come up with one. It would have had to be Golden Droplet there. Slumber. Wow, they were so close.
They really were.
Oh my goodness. That's the one that got crimed, so we get to banish 3 here, and we just Keldo and we win, right?
Yeah.
Have we Keldo'd this turn? Did we do it proactively? No, we didn't.
No,
yeah.
I
Held it as
I
much
thought
as
so. I thought the
possible.
shufflers were both
Wow,
online.
I can't believe how close that was. They were 1 activation off. The numbers. What do they mean?
Wow. What a game. What a game.
What a game indeed.
That's just like, I don't know. I think earlier in the tournament you were talking about it, but where do we go from here in terms of hits to the deck? It's not always the most fun conversation to have, constantly thinking about that all the time.
You should
but the
probably hit
shufflers
Fountain. I think that
Oh yeah,
that's definitely the problem.
No, I actually don't mind the runic deck too much. It's annoying. People dislike it for sure, but it's just the control deck of the format, and people for whatever reason are like, that's the deck.
They're frustrated with it because it's a stun deck, right? It's not like a control deck
Right.
in the same sense that like Labyrinth is a control deck, but come Photon Hypernova it might be. And you know, they're frustrated by the fact that it plays like 19 floodgates, and if it goes first, it just sets up Teak-Boo rivalry. And I think that's valid. I think that like that is a pretty unenjoyable way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but you know, you got to be prepared for it. It's the Jesse Cotton effect. You know, you have to assume that someone's trying to go over the top of the format. They're trying to play as many, you know, restrictive cards as possible, the equivalent of Mystic Mine, and you have to have a plan for it. And, you know, Burrito Man has been in enough CSM top cuts and enough real top cuts that I'm sure that they have a plan for it.
For sure. Well, the runic player has the benefit of going first this time, and they open Fountain, which is good.
It's okay. It's kind of weird. Like, you do want to open Fountain, but you also don't really want to open Fountain because it's free. You get to get it off of literally every one of your cards. We are going to go for Hugin here. That means we have like a Slumber in hand, something activatable. We're just trying to draw 3 cards here, and then maybe, depending on the draws, followed up with another Fountain. This is what this deck does. Ooh, weird infip, but I get it. This is what this deck does better than almost any other deck, which is seize cards in your deck. You know, if that had resolved, we'd get another Fountain. We'd fire our 3rd activated spell. We'd draw 3. We'd activate Fountain. We'd maybe draw another couple. And ideally, 1 or 2 of those would be floodgates. It's the only other thing you can be bricking on. Ooh. No shot we're passing here, though. Why would we be activating the effect of... Yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
Had to be Slumber.
And this is what puts Runic over the top in terms of other stun decks. And the history of this game is the fact that we just have a card of demise we have a field spell that's card of demise and a pot of whatever, avarice, I guess.
So
just constantly drawing back, keeping the resources. It's great.
The thing that's kind of interesting here is that Burrito Man kept in Infip. Either they don't have a pretty developed plan for it, which is possible, obviously. You know, this isn't a deck that you're super expected to hit. Or they've boarded into like Lightning Storm, because like what's frustrating about this Runic deck is all of their spells represent an out to Lightning Storm to Harpy's Feather Duster, because you can just make Hugin and then use the replacement effect to destroy it. But if you infip the Hugin, then you have a clogged extra monster zone. They can't summon a new one, and you can just go for your blowout staples. So I would be expecting to see something like that. Whatever the case, they're not expecting that their opponent's setup can beat like Mud Dragon start. One thing that I've seen people do against this Runic strategy that I really like, Rivalry's good, is just pass over and over again. Because if you're playing like some number of Lightning Storms, some number of Infinite Permanents, some number of Evenly Matched, etc., you can go down to like 2 or 3 cards in deck, especially in a deck like Tier Limit that shuffles cards back into the deck anyway, and just wait on like, I have 4 pieces of interaction, some number of your back row is clogged with floodgates to prevent me from playing, so I will have more shots at killing your stuff than you have. And then because so much of how they go over the top of those powerful sweepers is Solemn Judgment, usually it only takes like 1 attack to get it. I have not seen a lot of people play like that, so I'm interested in seeing if individuals are willing to adapt or if they're just going to try and jam their combo as hard as possible. Here, it's kind of frustrating because like the Mud Dragon is an opportunity to fire some Runic cards that are not named Slumber, but it looks like Flavi has not drawn them anyway.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about side decking, where a lot of people fall short when they start playing the game competitively, is not understanding how to properly side deck. You have to side deck for, what the deck you're playing against is like, and side deck to your outs, basically. So even though Imperm does nothing on its own, and it's still rare that you would get an Imperm plus a Lightning Storm plus something else, you have to put in cards that are going to put you in those situations, or could potentially put you
You've
in
got a
those
lot to take
situations
out
that are
also.
gonna win. Exactly. That's the biggest thing. And like you said it before, you can just pass. Like, Runic isn't going to kill you.
So what you're seeing here is that by refusing to commit to the board, you turn off Flashing Fire, you turn off Freezing Curses, you turn off Destruction, and you turn off everything but Slumber and Tip. And they're at 22. Some number of them are probably banished. Going for Keldo here, I mean, honestly feels very greedy, because now your opponent has removal.
Yeah. But I mean, it just depends on what is in Burrito Man's hand. I mean, of course it does, but it depends on what else he can follow this up with, because he's currently under rivalry right now, and Keldo's a fairy.
Oh no, we are
Oh,
still doing this. No, we're still doing this. We're
Okay.
We're using Keldo here from Field Effect in order to ensure that we always have access to like the Mud Dragon. We can put back the Infinite Impermanence, and then Flavi is going to hitting the Mud Dragon only here. Flavi is going to have to banish. Ooh, the Heartbeat hit is huge. Wow,
Huge. That's so good.
Flavi is going to have to hit every copy of Heartbeat, every copy of every boarded everything, and the infips that still exist. We can threaten going for like a Sheeran here. Again, really scared of that. I really do feel like it just turns on a significant amount of the deck. I feel like we'd want to keep them on just Tip and Slumber and nothing else. But especially like the benefit you get of playing against the version that plays Desires is they actually do run out of cards.
True. Very true. And another benefit of the deck is that Heartbeat, correct me if I'm wrong, Heartbeat shuffles the spell trap, correct?
Yes.
Or does it destroy it? Okay, that went here. Shuffle them into the deck. Yep. So that does get around the protection effect of the Runic.
It
extra
doesn't
deck
get around
monsters.
Munin, but no one makes Munin in the dark.
Right. Exactly. You have to go for Hugin first, just because of the blowouts that exist in the form of Lightning Storm and Duster.
For this scenario, they were going for Hugin because they wanted to Fountain twice. This is a scenario where like the Infinite Impermanence has enabled a later game plan where we can hit a Heartbeat, right?
Right.
Like this matchup is all about that. It's all about those like silly little interactions. Here we can go Kaleido Heart, shuffle the Rivalry, try to get aggro. Hitting the Freezing Curses though, yeah. Now we have to contest the resolution of Fountain. Yep, and as expected, they kept in the infips because they've got Lightning Storms in main. That's beautiful. Really good stuff.
Worried that it's not going to get them anywhere now though, because they have to
committed to the board. Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's 3 cards in hand. I just love this deck. I love it.
Wow. Very interesting.
It's a hard road to toe, because you are an aggressive deck. It's hard to not feel like you have to get aggro at every possible opportunity, but like just refusing your opponent's answers is so important. And the upside of resolving like a Lightning Storm or a Cosmic is it doesn't only answer the field spell, it answers every card in their hand. Like here, the destruction gets to be turned on, and we have to scoop and go to game 3.
Very interesting that a lot of people thought Runic was... the opinions on Runic were very varied when it was first announced. People thought it was going to be insane. People thought it was going to, people weren't playing it, and they realized it wasn't very good. And now people have come to the conclusion that Runic doesn't have to be its own thing. While it's very viable as its own thing, you can play it in decks like Sprite or Naturia as some sort of engine, and it's quite good. I like the innovation.
Its lasting legacy is going to be, it is a magnifying glass on the most frustrating floodgates ever printed, and it is also 45 instant fusions.
I hate instant fusion.
Keep printing instant fusion, folks. I love it. All right, so this is a pretty weak open. Rhino Heart Scream just kind of hoping it's going to be enough. But, probably enough against a deck that's just aiming to do quite literally nothing here. Bad Mills. Have to go Havness here, yeah. Keldo fine, but We are going to go Sarnir here. We can just throw something into the graveyard. Keep these in the grave because they are great for going into Mud Dragon off of any name.
Hitting the Shuffler is good here, though, because if we have a Perlerino, that means we have another thing which can activate to pop something. I mean, they have the Hugin to contest that, but still, it's just another thing that can get rid of the fountain, which is really what we need to load up on as we start this turn off.
Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing how Burrito Man's going to tailor the combo. You know, you don't go for like Bagoosker pass like you would against most rogue strategies against this. Like you want to weave a crime into the combo for sure. You need Pellerino. It's really devastating that it looks like we haven't found it. Here we're going to be able to go Keldo, not pitching a Kelbeck. We're getting a Guido, but we don't have a way to put cards into the graveyard. It's a thinker. Sheeran here pitching the Agido allows us to trigger it, but it means that that's everything we've got, like cards on the table. Havness, yeah. Sheeran, excellent hits. We've already used the Havness. I think we were really hoping for a Merly there, but no big deal. Agido could hit it still. Hit Kelbeck. And one fountain down. Usually they play two. So there's a scenario in which we actually just out all the fountains, but I think it's unlikely. All right, here comes the a Mud Dragon. That's 4.
Yeah.
I wonder if we go Kelbeck trying to hit Merly to do the Spelunky off Kitkalos. Yeah, we are going to try it. Kelbeck here for 5. Hit double evenly matched. Okay, so we don't really have to play too scared of that card. Hit the Suliek as well.
They didn't mill a Heartbeat yet, did they?
No, we haven't.
So, yeah.
We're grabbing Havness here. That's such a weird. It's a rough grab. I mean, this is a rough setup. Obviously, it's incredibly powerful. Like, I don't mean to discount how strong this setup is, but like, you just kind of want more against a strategy that's about to untap set 5 and pass. All right, Spelunky time. What do we got?
So the Redoer here seems really good. The Redoer here, if Redoer hits a trap, which you know they have
some number
at least 9, then that can contest the fountain, which is great. So you do kind of have to play to your outs there a little bit.
Yeah.
That was wrong.
Those Perlerinos go.
There they are. I mean, they had to be somewhere.
Yeah.
That's all 3 of them.
Oh, they're all gone.
No big deal. No big deal.
What is a big deal, though, is the fact that I don't think they're ending on crime.
Chad asking, can Runic beat this? Yes. This is the type of board 100%. That Runic loves to see. So, the weird scenario we've locked ourselves in here is we don't even necessarily have to discard a card to attempt the search of the field spell because we can just Gary into it. And of course that puts us dead to like Lightning Storm, but as we watch our opponent mill more like blind second cards, we have to worry about that less and less. I think we actually saw 2 of the 3 storms. Oh, we saw all 3. Jeez. Okay, so
Great.
Like don't even necessarily need to go into Hugin really early.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I bet they're gonna go into Elf next.
It's either a hand or we drew into it here. I mean, it's 10 cards in deck. What are the chances?
Yeah. Now, wouldn't you want to put the elf in the other zone so that way they couldn't target the Redoer with flashing fire?
Probably.
I mean,
yeah, probably. Just a min-maxing thing, but it is important in a matchup like this.
Yeah, I think because Redoer, if I would Burrito Man at this point, I would really start to think that Redoer was one of my outs.
So you've got Keldo and Mudora live, which blanks the field spell twice. But the first turn, you're not really going for repeated field spell activations. You're going for, unsurprisingly, the floodgates.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's neat, but it just forces out the flashing fire a little bit early.
Right now, yeah.
Also, if you're
they
epic,
do have to do it right now.
You can chain flashing fire or freezing curses right now onto the Mud Dragon. Wait, that's not true. I'm literally lying. Wait, don't fact check that.
No, that's not true.
Snopes is determined. You're an idiot.
Okay, so it looks like it resolved.
Yeah. It's always possible that they just don't have it. All right, this matters a lot. Obviously, spell the most likely, but trap would be huge here. spell it is. And there's the flashing fire.
All right, so they seem too evenly matched. It would be crazy if they had the third.
They
have the
hard through
fountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, you can't draw with fountain this turn. The best you can hope is you force out one of the names. We have one Oh, golden droplet. That's a very interesting one. We are going for a runic here. So this complicates things a great deal. We can go Gary here. Gary, target the fountain. That forces the... Oh, we're not doing that. That forces the Keldo on that. And then we can potentially activate fountain later by tagging into Hugin. But this is fine as well. We go Hugin 1, fountain 2 here. We don't really care about the resolution of the fountain because it's not very likely. We can just fire the Keldo on field, the Keldo in grave, or I think we have a Mudora as well. We have to. I mean, we have 2 Mudora. 3 Keldo, 2 Mudora. So, like, the goal of Burrito Man is you're just going to keep them off the refilling effect.
Right.
But they've lost nothing going for the refilling effect. They've activated 1 runic spell. These are all mills off of Agido and Kelbeck. So the 3 cards in hand could easily just be floodgates and the game's over.
I would have... Yeah, there's no way that they didn't keep them... Wait.
Oh, was that... Did they not shuffle all of them?
Does it not need to shuffle in order to draw?
Oh, no, it's not like Avarice, but I thought they would target all 3 of the targets.
Huh?
Did they click the wrong ones? Oh!
What?
We cock
No.
dick ballin'.
Oh no!
And triple tack.
Triple tack.
Okay, this seems a little over. So I will say one card we haven't seen in the grave, and you know you can't read the crime because they would have said it, but I haven't seen the heartbeat. There could be a heartbeat in hand, but we got to get a tier back on board.
One heartbeat ain't gonna do
heartbeat
it. Heartbeat
is in
Well,
grave.
you know what? I shouldn't count tier
Is
out.
it actually?
I shouldn't count that.
That's
Did I
fine. That's
activate
completely
desires
fine.
here?
No, I mean, yes. It's completely fine at this point. We've seen every sweeper. We're not afraid of losing our shit anymore. Am I missing it? Am I very stupid? I don't see it. Okay, tip. Oh, great. We're literally going to draw 8 cards this turn. I got a Glock in my Rari. All right, so we have a Mudora we can use to blank the second fountain in the hand that now has 15 cards in it.
I'm literally gonna look up fountain. It had to be that they just hit the wrong ones.
It had to be. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't need to shuffle them all back, but it only draws as many as it shuffles.
Interesting. Draw the same number of cards, yeah.
It drew 2, so we hit 1. Yeah. Oh, destruction here. Crazy. You get to crack this. This is kind of weird. We have to hit crime here. Oh, we didn't. So we get to trigger Scream here to get crime. Is that right? 6 cards. One of them's crime. Yeah, looks like.
We had to have kept in crime. Yeah, okay.
It's like the
no way
most
we
important.
didn't.
I mean, you might be in a
know.
position where it's like, I don't think it really matters.
No shot that, like...
Okay,
Burrito
so
Man
here's a
didn't know how to
really
check
funny
which ones were
position we've
targeted.
accidentally worked ourselves into. We've activated both Keldo and Mudora this turn. So if we have the material to banish 5 cards off the top of the deck, we win. There's no way to cycle. Like Slumber plus Flashing Fire just straight up wins the game.
Yeah. That's got to do it, right?
I imagine that's why you would be pursuing this line, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think you're in a great position either way. Your opponent is going to develop crime over the course of 2 turns, and you have, like, access to destruction at any point. Smiting Storm.
might be
Smiting Storm's
what's-
only 2, so it would have to be Smiting Storm plus Slumber, but that seems pretty likely, I'm going to be honest with you. All right, so we're shuffling here. All right.
So
Grabbing Crime, unsurprising.
yeah, now if they have the spells in hand, I think it's
Can you
it.
check Pellerino? That's Slumber. We need a 2.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no! Oh, do we have a 2? There's like 14
Come on.
2s. Smiting Storm is 2!
No!
No! Oh, I got
Oh,
a
no.
Gluck-Marari.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow. There
Oh.
it goes.
Ooh. Cover
What a-
yourself in banishers. Wow, that was that's rough.
That's got to feel like a rough way to lose.
Yeah, there is there's still a chance. There's still like some stuff that maybe prevents the deck out, but it seems pretty unlikely. End phase?
Yeah, that's
nope.
it. Yeah.
And that's gonna be it. In draw. Can't respond to your own attempt to draw for turn.
Yep.
Can you? I feel like you can't.
No. What?
What?
Huh?
We're
No shot. There's no way.
That was wrong.
There's no way that's how that works.
Wait, that's literally. Did we do Garrus? We did not do Garrus. Oh, okay.
Okay. What? Oh my god.
Edo Pro Momento.
Okay. That is the
Uh,
funniest thing.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen happen in a CSM. That was shuffle jump scare. Hello, everybody. It's your boy Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, with the top 4 of your December 2022 Chalislime Monthly. I am joined as ever by the one, the only Peeps, Yu-Gi-Oh! Peeps. How are you doing today?
I'm great as always. Doing better now that I hear we're not going to be watching a tier mirror.
That is
my understanding is
true.
correct.
The top 8 was littered with the best deck in the room, but in the top 4, only one individual, LX Blunt Edge, is the only person repping the deck. We have 2 sprites still remaining, and of course, the Runic deck that we just saw on stream. Now, thankfully, we are not going to cast the Runic deck again, because if I have to do 3 Runics in a row, I'm going to lose my mind. So we're going to be watching Sprite versus Tier, a match that could have easily been finals. I'm just going to let them know, and we're going to go for it.
Very excited. Very excited to see this. I haven't seen Sprite in a while.
Oh, Sprite has... listen, I don't want to get you too excited. Sprite has become so interesting over the last few months. It's transformed into functionally masquerade cat control, and it gets to like board the end of Anubis and stupid stuff to beat tier. But it's as consistent as ever, as powerful as ever. It still makes Toad. It still sets Smashers, you know? We talked a lot about how Fluonderies has the capacity to kind of high roll other strategies and draw into absolutely everything it needs, but occasionally bricks. Sprite is just the opposite. Its ceiling is just lower than tier limits, but it finds it every freaking game. So if you can take measures to increase that ceiling, you still get to reap the benefits of the consistency of that strategy, but you get to potentially edge out troublesome matchups like this one. It will be a little more difficult when the tier player goes first. Alex Blunt Edge, unfortunately, has everything but the Skullmeister. Oh my goodness, the punish going CL1 Merly, CL2 Kit Kalos has cost them a lot. And is that mask change 2 in the grave? In the main, Lily is on something else. Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Okay, so I was going to mention, you were talking about all these new tools.
777 in the
Medora,
graveyard
by the
right
way.
here.
You were mentioning all these very interesting tools that Sprite now has, and actually the Mannequin Cat control idea does seem very cool. Obviously, we see Mask Change 2 there, which very
decent.
interesting. Clearly, it's going into Dark Law, but
I guess theoretically you could go into Acid as well. Like you target one of your beasts or something in the lab matchup. Or in Flu. You get to eat the
Oh
map.
yes, because you have I don't know if they're still playing Swap Frog, but you potentially have that. You have
Yeah, they
Beaver.
are. I don't know if they are, but decks are.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, the tier player did open up with the most fun one of in the entire game. I'm still
Whoa,
happy is
hold
legal. Is the instant fusion. Very fun.
That was wrong.
Let's see. So we've already established Rukalos, Merly. We're going for a Sheeran now.
Do you feel like instant fusion is maybe a little too weak?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like there are a lot of cards in the tier deck that just aren't good enough.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, like instant fusion reads win the game, but what if it said like win the match? You know?
Oh,
Does it feel like
great idea.
36 starters? Last format we were playing 37. The mills have been kind of mid, thankfully. Like if Rukalos Elf is what we're ending on, that's pretty good news. We get to go for a what's his name? Mud Dragon of the Swamp here. So if we want, we can end on like Redoer or Abyss Dweller, whatever we think is a little more powerful. Abyss Dweller does have some application versus this deck. It prevents the Nimble Angler from triggering, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. There's really, I don't know if it's probably just Redoer. I'm assuming it's just Redoer. That's what it's got to be.
It's I think it's a conversation.
Okay. All right.
You're like, okay, shut up.
I don't know. Redoer seems like the best pick here, right? Because it triggers the Sheeran as a material, and could potentially. I mean, I guess there's not really a trap card that you're gonna grab. I don't know. I would go with Redoer here. At least that's my call. One thing that I do find very interesting about the tier limit deck still is that you're looking at it right now. People are still playing Orange Light, even though it's a one of.
Yeah. You want to draw it?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to tell you about it. It's crazy. For some reason, it's still around in some capacity. We're going sprint here. We're going to hit the Merly. Yeah. Going to hit the Gritty.
Has Merly activated its effect yet in the grave? No, it has not. Okay.
No. Do you like this? Have you been enjoying this part of the format?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yes.
No.
Yes, you have. I know you have.
You know what?
You don't have to lie to me.
You know what? The part I enjoy is I legitimately enjoy the tier limit part of the deck. The part of the deck I cannot stand are the shufflers. That's like the biggest issue. I loved playing against tier limit when it was just like on release in Power of the Elements.
Yeah.
Now it's like so over the edge crazy. It's just it has everything. Okay, so they did elect to go for Redoer. They have Dragons to play in Rukalos. So there's not. Also, they have the Sprint bounce too, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
The Dragostapelia is just so devastating. One of the downsides of playing in a tournament in which like it's known what people are playing because of previous games they have on stream is you can really tailor your end boards. And here's a deck that really loves doing it. Yeah, we have to shotgun the infip on the Dragostapelia because it can change a level 2 monster to a level 1 monster, which just does end the turn a lot of the time.
Very true.
All right, Swap Frog to normal. That's a decent one.
The Ronin Tonin ban was very interesting.
How do you feel about that as a Froggy?
I do.
Froggyman?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it was the right hit.
It's unfortunate because like it wasn't until we lost it that I realized, oh yeah, that's pretty much always been the problem, huh?
Yeah, always. Just anything that, especially now in the advent of like Link Monster and everything, right? Like just something that summons itself out of the grave is like repeatable material. Repeatable material. Yeah. Definitely needed to go. So. I don't know. It obviously kills like the dedicated frog decks, but I can still summon Bahamut Toad, baby. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. Well, yes, it doesn't kill the dedicated frog decks. I mean, look, you're looking at one right now.
Oh, true. You're so right.
I know. I'm aware. All right, so we did open Swap Frog Blue plus the infip for the card that ends our turn. That's pretty good. Gonna grab Jet here. It's what you would like. It's everything you're searching for. Even a kind of mid hit off of the Redoer monster here. It's just a question of if it's going to be enough.
So basically, what we're playing through right now is the Sprint Bounce and the Rukalos Negate, which
Well,
In hand.
I think chat's right. Lily's also taking measures to play around a Kelbeck in hand.
Interesting.
So, I mean, we're trying. We're playing around as much as we can. I mean, this is the deck that has the capacity to do that. All right, down comes the Jet. Gonna go for the Jet here.
One interesting thing about Sprite that I think was always kind of the handicap with the deck is that
There's a redoer
you have
activation.
to figure out when to lock yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So
We haven't
Jet
yet.
could easily grab starter here, and then they could activate starter, but then once they activate starter, they're locked. So
All right, so it looks like what we're doing here is we're going redoer, or we're going a Sprind, detaching from redoer, putting the Keldo in grave, which is actually our only copy of Keldo, triple Mudora, in order to go ahead and bounce a monster on the field to the hand. This is kind of weird. Like, we don't have a lot of really easy access to the Swap Frog, so I wonder if that's what we're going to see. Chainlink 3 here is going to be the redoer, detaching another monster to tag itself out. And then at resolution, we can trigger the detached Sheeran in order to make Kaleido, or we can do none of that shit because the last card in hand is Mask Change 2. So the targeted monster here is the Swap Frog, so we're not in danger of like losing the Dark Law. Here we get to send the Jet to the graveyard, summon Dark Law pre-2-lock. That's going to be met with the Rukalos. So Mass Change 2 to the grave. CL3 Redoer tags out. CL2 Sprint bounces Swap Frog. CL1 Jet grabs Starter. So then we do get to make a like a Kaleido Heart and spin one of these two, but then we have like starter everything, right? This is going to be a hard one for sure. It's even a question of if you even want to get started. You could theoretically get Smashers. No, there's no way. Oh, this matchup, there's just so much meat to it. I love it.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is super cool.
Yeah. All right, so we interested to see what happens with the Sheeran at point of resolution. We are going for starter here.
But the question still remains, what do we do with these two? Because if we make...
I have great news. The other match is done. Runic Stun made it to finals.
Oh my god.
A good thing we didn't cast it 3 matches in a row, I'll say that.
No kidding. Oh, Lord. This is awful. All right, so I don't know what the plan is for the for Lily here. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of
this
going
blunt
for
edge is also really playing well. I'm really surprised, honestly.
Do you go for gigantic here? There's no.
We're waiting for resolution of the chain here.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to. If I was, because I tried to play Sprite for a little bit.
I think you would really like Sprite, but it's a heady deck.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on here, and playing around the locks is not fun. But some people are really good at weaving through that, and we're going to see if Lily is right now.
Kit. So Kit can translate to anything. They're keeping their options open here. We'll go Kit here. We can add to hand a have if we want to be like super greedy, but the right play, of course, is to bin something, and then we can make... Oh, damn, it's still over here. I'm like, we could make Dragostapelia. We got to shuffle the Dragostapelia back. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
We're playing 2 Dragostapelia.
That would be crazy.
Whoa, the card in hand is a name. So we get to Rhino Heart. That is so cute. Wow. Whoa. It's Heartbeat. Wait, what an unbelievable flex of a brick here, because now we get to go Rhino Heart, send a name. We get to go Kaleido and retain Kit Kalos. Oh my god. You can't. Wow. What an incredible line. But even at the end of the line, I mean, what are we left with? The same thing we expected, right? Here's Kaleido Heart. We have a starter in grip.
Exactly. Doesn't Rukalos isn't once per turn, right, though, so it gets another negate, correct?
No, it's a hard.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh my goodness gracious.
I for whatever reason I thought it wasn't.
It might. I was like, is it? For a second there, I was like, it is, right?
Okay, yeah. One of the sentences is you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Okay. The cards are so
scared
good.
the hell out of me for a second there.
All right. So, starter here now. Good starter for gigantic. I guess I still don't know how the deck has evolved. We started for gigantic. Oh wait, no, we have sprint now.
Yeah.
So we could sprint for angler. Wow, this deck has a lot of tools now too. Holy cow!
No, yeah, there's a lot going on here. It's so funny that the other match is done though. It's like extremely hilarious that they were like, forget it. You know, I honestly feel like this is kind of finals because the last one will be decided in 3 or 4 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. This is game 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not resolving any more effects from the tier limit side, right?
I don't think we have the option to.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the 2 shufflers here. That's like the last thing that we have to worry about. So we go starter here for carrot. Love carrot. We go gigantic. I mean, what are we trying to get off gigantic? We have to go beaver just for material, I feel like. We can go a link to. Yeah, we can go sprint in order to send angler.
Send angler.
The
some of
sprint
the
gets a
beavers.
gigantic that's big enough to get over these 3K guys, but I mean, where do we go from there?
And that's the issue, is that we've started, so we can't do like some kind of Zeus line or something like that.
Zeus doesn't even.
I know, because it sends them to the grave.
Yeah. Outing Kaleido Heart specifically is just such a struggle for this deck. So you can overlay these 2 for gigantic. Go gigantic here. Detach the beaver. We've already used.
Maybe we go for like
turn. We can go red.
Maybe we go for red. Yeah.
Yeah, like
because that way red could tribute the beaver to negate the Kaleido Heart.
Well, the Kaleido Heart's not going to go to the graveyard by card effect, right?
Right.
We really do want to get. We do want to get a fucking extender. Like, if we had access to 1 more material, we could make a really appealing cat line, but we don't. Like, this is it. What you're seeing is what you're getting. We can go get a swap frog. We have one in grave. Link off these 2 post-combat for elf, and then make toad. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're doing. But that doesn't really even do anything, does it? Then we just end on toad elf versus Rukolos Dragostapelia. That does out both of the problem monsters.
Very neat.
So the concept here is that Dragostapelia doesn't actually beat Gigantic Sprite, and it doesn't actually beat Skycav. I guess
But they are going for the Drago anyway.
We care more about the Drago than we care about the Rukolos, right? Because the Rukolos doesn't plus when it goes to the graveyard.
So we're bouncing the Kaleido Heart.
Yeah. So from this position, we just pass and hope they whiff a name. I mean, that's not bad. They've milled like half their deck. So they have.
I honestly forgot that the Redoer was coming back.
They have Redoer. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I forgot about this. Even if Rukolos goes to the grave, it'll trigger the Sprint because the Redoer will have a material. But if they draw like a whiff like that, it's not a big deal. And it looks decent. It looks decent for Lily. We do need them to whiff a name.
Yeah. If they do something like activate Perlerino here, I'm going to cry.
The other thing is, like, we know the card in hand is Swap Frog, which does, like, next to nothing. So not only do they have to whiff a name here, Lily has to not whiff. She has to draw, like, exactly blue.
Yeah, I don't even think you could draw a starter at this point because the lock. I don't know if that would be good enough to.
Oh, we're just using it as link material for dark. Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Did they DC? Let's find out. So, we took a look at the replays, and it is a DC from Blunt Edge's side. So they are going to swap PCs, and we are going to jump into game 2.
We've made it in. All right.
All right. So if you're wondering why we are starting on game 2, it is because, well, the previous game, one of the players DC'd, which is a GL, from a position where it was unlikely they were losing, but rules are rules. If you're wondering why Mount Fuji is playing, it's because this has been Mount Fuji the whole time. They fucking joined on an alt. So, you know, this is functionally finals from, I think, 2 CSMs ago. It's just the run back here. Ugh. I think this was the first POT tournament we had this.
Yeah, I don't know. He what is it? Won the last 3, I think.
Yeah. The first POT tournament, I think Fuji did not win, but Lilypod, I think, did end up making it to finals and winning. Here we're going to begin with a Keldo pitching Agido. Not as sexy as pitching Kelbeck, but, you know, we'll take what we can get.
Well, now that we're in game 2 here, we have the knowledge that we can confidently activate the mills. So
I believe in hitting the angler, personally.
Oh,
I
I guess
prefer the
that
air.
would be kind of rough. Oh,
Skullmeister
well,
coming down says, you better have a Sheeran or something. Skullmeister is such
What a
an...
cool
Oh,
card.
well, there's the Sheeran. Skullmeister is such an interesting decision in Sprite right now. I mean, I like it a lot for sure, but there's just so much you have to negate. You know, there's no guarantee that you're going to hit exactly what you need. Here, sending the Kelbeck to the graveyard searched off of the Keldo will net us pretty much everything regardless.
yeah. Skullmeister has always seemed like the 6th best hand trap.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, like you mentioned, you always have to negate the last thing in the chain. It feels like there's just so much that you have to worry about that I'm not entirely sure that Skullmeister is the pick. But, I mean, hey, Lily's in finals playing it, so I guess it got them this far. But...
It's a Sprite kind of thing. In Sprite, you have to play bad cards. Your deck isn't as good as Tier. All right, we're going for 5 here. We hit the angler.
There's
folks!
the angler.
Two anglers. Oh my god. We also hit every name. So we got Sheeran and Havness there. That Rhino Heart, I believe, was Chainlink 1. So we are going to be able to send a Merly 2 if we like.
As long as wait, can angler can summon just 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up
okay.
to 2.
Up to 2. Yep. Okay. So we go all 3. Do we even do all 3 beavers?
Oh, I forgot that you actually play these cards. Yeah, I guess you could just get everything, huh?
Yeah.
It would be like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. And all 3 Havness as well represented in this opening hand. How do you feel about I've seen a lot of Dimension Shifter in Sprite. I think that's like a really fun decision.
I think so too. It just, you know, Dimension Shifter, it's to the point where it's like, okay, if you can play Dimension Shifter, you play Dimension Shifter, of course. But like,
You get
that's why, you know, Baguska is still
you know, it stuff does, you know. The problem is, I think it was like a week 1 tech because everyone just sort of assumed that like Dimension Shifter reads win the game against Tierlement, and as they learned that it does not, it became a lot less frequent. And unlike Fluandereeze, it's not a scenario in which like you can fire Shifter in your opponent's draw if you don't like lead with a whole bunch of spells and traps, and then like keep it online for them to make a redoer and then like combo off on your turn. Like it forces them onto the Baguska line. And Sprite doesn't have that because they do have to make use of their graveyard over the course of the turn, and there will be cards in it. So it does leave open the possibility of like, okay, these 2/4s, one of which is Sheeran, is going to become a redoer, and then you can't really contest that anyway.
Right. And also, the thing is weird about Shifter and Sprite is like, okay, if you Shifter Tearlament and they make the Baguska line, what do you as Sprite do?
You just chill. You chill.
You because you drew the Imperm, right? Of course.
Yeah, always.
Always.
The biggest issue with Shifter is that it's dark. So they make dark, and then it's a 6, and then the game ends.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got here? We have Garura on board, so that's 1/6. I guess I haven't seen a Magnamute yet.
We've got targets.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think we are about to.
Yeah. Good Lord.
If Fuji wins this month, does that make it 4 in a row? It does.
Yep. So we got to go for dark here. Man, that's so wild. Oh, no, but if we go for dark, we get rid of the Garura, and then we can't make Beatrice. Because it's in the extra monster zone. Or, well,
Yeah, keep going, buddy. Keep talking.
Yep. All right. I'll just shut my mouth. We opened it anyway.
Sometimes you have everything.
Okay. Yep.
Does he win a prize if he wins 12 CSMs in a row? Then the CSM ends. In fact, if he wins this one, the CSM ends. Lily says, Chad, I am 4 games ahead of you. I beat Mount Fuji and lost game 3 to Runic Stun. You think you're getting a game 3 against Runic Stun? The best deck in the format? Everyone's favorite?
That really is the best deck in the format.
I truly hope people don't start playing it in TCG in large numbers. I have enough of it in Master Duel.
I have been playing a little Master Duel again, I will say.
Ooh.
And I've only played against Runic like twice.
So
I guess I'm getting lucky.
Yes, you are.
They're going to do some weird crap like semi-limit Hugin. Okay, where do we go from this position here? It's the Beatrice detaches the Garura, sending anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're just in a great position here, obviously.
Yeah, they have everything.
The 3 beavers is a little worrying, obviously. It's a little concerning.
Is it really though? Because like, if the 3 beavers are there, that means they can't start their turn with Imperm.
That means you have to
actually, you know what that is? That's 3 droplet material right there.
Yeah, no. Legitimately, what it is you get to threaten Zeus before locking yourself, right? And so you'll fetch out some number of points of interaction.
I suppose that's fair. But then you have to go to the battle
even if you
phase,
really
and
care about Zeus, I think you can pretty effectively establish a board that does not. If you expect that, like, they'll go into Sky Cav, you can leave nothing on board that has a low attack stat and force them to go to Sky Cav and then set, like, Sulyek or something.
There's Redoer. Do you think there's anything funny they boarded out into for the Beatrice?
No, I do not think so. I don't think we're doing the zombie world shenanigans.
Yeah.
As much as I would like, I'm a big fan of shenanigans. All right, what do we hit here? Rhino, Sheeran, Keldo. A bunch of nothing, really. Mudora. Well, we've got shufflers for days.
Yeah, we have everything, as Tier always does. So we redoer here. We've made redoer. Do we go for Sprint or maybe Jet?
Sprint's funny, but doesn't line up really well against Skycav if that's what you're afraid of, right? Because, like, theoretically, they never have to activate an effect.
Going for Keldo here? What are we shuffling back?
I was going to say, do we have access to crime? If so, that's not a bad position to be in. Have we hit Scream? We haven't. Okay, so what we can do here is we go Beatrice, Sengarua. Obviously, we get to draw.
Yep.
But we get to use the Beatrice here to send a Scream. Then we can activate Scream in order to grab the crime that we just shuffled back. Or the
very
Celiac
good.
if we don't have it. I imagine we're only doing that line in a world where we want crime, yeah.
Yep.
Not bad.
Very good. Very strong.
Get to
Gosh,
end on
what a
Elf here as
setup.
well if we want.
Yeah, I think that's what they do.
Let's see that hard-drawn Pellerino. That would legitimately end the game. That would...
Yeah. Yep.
We're Elfin, targeting the Merly. Normal Mudora.
Interesting.
Yeah, we get to go
Sprint
sprint
here?
here without
Yeah, okay.
exhausting the
Yep.
elf is the reason. That sprint is really, really live, given what's going on here. The Beatrice and the redoer, of course. All right, Merly effect engrave. Trying to end on Ruculos, I'd imagine. Or, you know, if we would like, we can also end on Dragostapelia. Oh, we're ending on Kaleido.
Interesting. Okay.
Tuck one of these suckers back.
Leaves
And
one
we
in
overlay
deck.
these two
We
for
can-
gigantic.
Oh, crazy.
All right. So this is obviously a fantastic position. We have access to something to contest the Zeus that Lily is like telegraphing by being in chat and saying I'm going to make Zeus. We get a monster here. Yeah, it was Magnamut. That's a pretty good one. Obviously, crime is a counter trap, so gets around a lot of silly stuff. Almost forces like you are going to have to play in main phase 1. You're going to have to get the crime in main phase 1. You can only do that really with like a Harpy's Feather Duster or something. Going for Onibi Maru here.
Whoa.
That is very interesting. If we Onibi Maru targeting the Kaleido Heart, we force an early activation of like Redoer in order to get a tier back on field, or like Elf. It doesn't seem super sweet. Looks like we're just going to deal with it by going Sprint in order to tuck it back. And now we go battle. That was the whole plan. We have doubled evenly in the opener. Okay, Infip targeting what?
Yeah, that was a good plan. I mean, I mentioned it before. The Beavers clog up being able to imperm, but now go for the Onibimaru. It gets removed. We can imperm. There's the... Wait a minute. Did we draw? Yeah. Okay.
We had to have, right?
Yeah.
That's
we
so
had to top
funny.
deck that.
That's hilarious. All right, we'll get the one from the graveyard. It got bounced. It got spunned.
Yeah. It got shuffled. So we just drew it for turn. That's crazy.
1 in 28, baby. That's the way it works. Okay, now we're making Skycav. So with the negated Kaleido Heart, we can't use its effect to spin the Skycav pre-combat. But we're also not out of the woods yet. If our aim is to Zeus it out, you know, we still lose to crime.
Yeah.
We can go like Skycav, hit the Kaleido, spin the Kaleido. Then they don't have a tier for crime. But then it's as simple as being like, okay, Redoer, now we'll just make a name.
Plus we know that Fuji has Druris Worm in hand too.
Yeah. Lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sand's like a spell trap sweeper. I really don't see how we're contesting crime. Fuji says, oh, actually, we're not even fucking with that. I'm gonna...
Yeah. Okay.
Send them early.
I guess we could go for Rukalos here, right?
Chat says Imperm wasn't set. No, it wasn't. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, okay.
We are walking into the Elf. That's going to be met with a Celiac. Celiac effect, negate the effect of Centuria. We can send the the Kaleido Heart here. Res Kaleido Heart effect. Reborn itself, send a name. Then res of that, Kaleido Heart effect. Spin the Centuria. It hasn't completed combat. And then double evenly matched starter. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, time for that all-important Game 3. Will Fuji make it out of here with the 3-0? Who knows?
It's really, I don't know. I think at this point, I know you mentioned Mannequin Cat can do some stuff in order to summon, you know, like End of Anubis, some funny stuff that it can do there. But outside of that, I don't know what sprite board that can be put up that can stop just everything that Ishizu.
Well, End of Anubis. Like that's the
hey,
funny
I guess
play.
that's fair.
That's the comedy play.
So Mannequin Cat, the way it works is it targets something in the opponent's grave or on their field.
I believe it's in their grave to summon it, and then if a monster is specialed, you can clone it.
Okay. Yeah, hey, if that gets End of Anubis, then that would do it. Very funny that card from a million billion years ago is now back.
Well, back in a, a pretty limited capacity.
Hey, it's still back. I mean, it serves
back,
a very
baby!
important purpose.
It's back!
Yeah.
All right,
The
let's
old
find
Frog
it
Monarch
out.
staple. Waiting on bated breath to see how we start this game here.
Soft
That's a
Frog's
pretty good one. Yep.
Looks like we are not using the effect of Swap Frog. A little afraid of a little card called Kelbeck, which does end the turn here. Go Sprite Jet. Jet's going to grab starter. Have you seen this combo before? It's pretty neat. So
It's new.
Yeah, we're going to go starter. Ash.
That would be insane.
Ash for blue. Blue effect. Go ahead and grab, what, red here? Yeah. What WTF did I tune into? Fuji Final? Not exactly. Not exactly.
I mean, this is really where you want to be as the sprite player.
Yeah.
But this is what they've been doing for, well, I guess the sprint is what makes this new. But like, I was just going to say, this is what they've been doing since Pote. Like, oh.
That's the beauty of Sprite. Sprite never changes, baby. Doesn't need to.
It doesn't.
All right, double nimble beaver. We'll make the big gigantic.
Correct.
So we can big gigantic for the second swap, then go for an elf effect, and then we have successfully done it under Kelbeck. Have not done it under Infinite Impermanence, however.
That's pretty good.
That's a decent one.
So we've hit the gigantic. So we're left with red, and I mean, I guess we go for Jet here.
I think we know they are on Jin. Oh, wow. Late Prosby.
Oh.
All right, if we can find like a carrot, that would have been nice to have done earlier. Let's see what we got.
That's why I always say, like, the argument for going for carrot instead of red is
You
somewhat
are
interesting.
fully
It's like,
pilled on carrot over red.
I am.
I'm familiar. You're like, fuck red. Like, what are you scared of? You know, if you're
Yeah,
playing
let me
around
split
if you're
Ash
playing
now.
around Kelbeck anyway, you know.
Yeah.
I think you probably just got impermed like once, and you were like, I'm never losing to this again.
Yeah, I stopped playing that deck.
That's true. Did you live
Yeah,
long
it's
enough to
true.
get into Beerud?
What, in Sprite?
Yeah.
No, of course. I played 2 games of Sprite. I said I hate this deck, and then I stopped playing it.
I remember
sold
this.
it to
I
you.
remember this. You were like, this deck isn't good. I'm playing Earth Machine.
True.
Who was the pro you clapped on it?
Isala.
Was it Sala? Yeah.
Yep.
You're going to
What
prison
a
for
moment. I know. I won that by
that. That was
deck
his
out
YCS
too.
to win.
No.
That
that
YCS was
Zombie
crazy
World?
though. We were like X3 playing like fucking Bowden.
I know. Oh, dude, that's how that Bowden kicked me out. Bowden
Raph
kicked me out of
round
day
1.
2.
Bowden kicked you and Danny out. He was like, fuck Joseph's car in particular.
Yeah, it was annoying. And then I got 130th out of 128 to day 2. So
Get
I was
owned.
just so
Just
sad.
get absolutely owned. Nothing
I
to say
did.
about that.
I did.
Oh, well, that's Zombie World.
So what is zombie? Oh, okay. So I guess it
They're
turns
not
off the
aquas.
aquas in the
yeah,
grave.
they're not aquas anymore. Except they are aquas in the hand. So
Yeah.
it's a little sussy.
So really, all we have is red. We have red and
A dream.
sort of midway floodgate.
Yeah. It would be funny if it worked, though. It would be funny if like that was sufficient.
I don't know. I'm not seeing this one.
Hold up. I'm firing the beam right now. I've got the 5G tower trained on Fuji's house. We're getting the double DC advancement.
There we go. There's got to be. I mean, Perlarino is a great start. There are ways Perlarino can out the zombie world, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you?
I'm just.
Fuji is a Fuji is a deliberate player. Is the nice way of saying Fuji plays fucking slow as hell. But what are you playing around if you're Fuji? You got to be scared of Bestials, obviously. That's it, right?
Yeah, I guess. But like, okay, yeah. So we've seen Skullmeister before. That's the big thing. We've seen Skullmeister, but I'm worried that Skullmeister isn't going to do enough here. Skullmeister
Skullmeister
two
is
in
a
hand
strange
gotta be
card
really
because
good.
like you don't need it to stop your opponent. You need it to chain, or you need it to trade for like one name, right? So if it accomplishes that, it's not that bad. Oh, that's awful. That's just horrifying. Okay. Scream it is. Are we going to normal Rhino?
Yep. That is so strong.
It's decent. It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go Rhino here. Rhino on Scream 2 plays around red. Ooh, but Fuji says if you want to negate Rhino Heart, you are allowed.
Which I guess.
Gonna let it happen.
Now
Yep, and that allows the
Havness.
Chain of Havness, which we did know. This is weird because keeping the Havness on field means that there's no Aquas unless we have another in hand. Oh, and Lily says, forget about it. Scoops, and Fuji advances in the world's first 3-0. Wow, what a stinky dinky. Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Joseph Rothschild, a.k.a. MBT, and it is time for finals. After stealth entering this event, Mount Fuji has made it all the way to finals for the 4th fucking time in a row. I am joined for the 4th time in a row by Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're jumping right in. Peeps,
I have no thoughts. Let's run this shit.
So the last one we had to like actually pay attention to. There was a lot of back and forth, interesting gameplay. Flaviovk is on Runic Stun, so this will be over quick, hopefully.
That's the plan. Ugh.
All right, we're beginning with a Sheeran. And no Dimension Shifter. That's excellent. We're going to go again. Sometimes you just want it more than your opponent. I don't really know what what to say about that. Okay,
Good
those were... That's
God.
Mudora and Keldo. Actually, only one tier name. That's pretty impressive. And
How did that happen?
about 9 runic spells. So that's going to really turn on the fountain.
Yeah, you know, much with any stun deck, the games are going to go one way or another, but they're going to happen very fast. However, since tier started, this is going to be a long turn. There's going to be a bit of a setup. But you know, I think it wasn't Fuji that we've seen play against this deck yet, have we?
No, it wasn't. We saw Flaviovk 2 rounds ago. Absolutely decimated tier limit player who went first. So we'll see.
Yeah,
and that involved it was like this exceptionally weird game where they led with a smiting storm for the entire deck.
Right. So I don't know. This will just require. We know Fuji is a talented player at this point, especially as evidenced by their record in these tournaments. But we'll just have to see how they adjust to this new style of deck, because whenever you play against a stun deck, your win condition is not the same. You know, you have to modify your typical lines of play.
I think that Fuji's very prepared to deal with this type of deck. He won a Chalislime with it. So
very true.
We will have to. I mean, this is probably the only player on Earth who knows what Runic Stun even is.
Right.
So we've got the Havness activating here. We have possibility of Sheeran we are going to go for. We hit Scream as well. I don't see a Celiac in here, so if we like, we can take that. Yep, we will. And, you know, we're going to go ahead and fire off this Keldo as well, because we've seen all the runic spells and decided, okay, well, I really feel like Celiac is not actually going to accomplish anything. Might as well just shuffle back the Crime and grab that instead. A little more scared of, like, big, stinky, sweaty floodgates, right? Oh, Near Programmer. Thank you so much for the host. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, I don't know, the decisions made here are going to matter a lot in terms of how we end this. You have your typical, like, you know, you get Crime, which is something that you definitely want in terms of this matchup. But stuff like Redoer to potentially grab a Floodgate, which can, you know, help out the Fountain if they start with that. But you also got to manage how many cards you actually mill, right? Like,
yeah,
we saw that was a win condition in the previous match. So you just got to keep up on using as many resources as you can to get the board that you want and all the non-destruction outs that you can have.
So what we saw last time is that it's really easy to just lose your entire deck against Runic here. But you've got to flex, like, specifically the Keldo shuffle, the Mudora shuffle, and the ability for Celiac, a Merly that you summon off of an elf, and a Redoer to flex, like, shuffling back 2 materials from your graveyard. So, like, those are the points of interaction you want to care about. Everything else is, like, basically just ensuring that you don't get milled.
Right. It is a lot to manage.
Yeah.
So looking at the potential board here, they set up the Garura. I mean, you summon the Bestial to still make the Beatrice, but I don't think there's anything in the main deck that you send that gives you that much of an edge in this matchup.
Well, sending a name while you have a Kaleido in rotation potentially trades for the field spell in a way that doesn't run aground of Hugin. It runs aground of Munin, I think. Oh, no, it doesn't, because it doesn't target, right?
Is there a way to get Heartbeat out of the grave if you mill it?
Yeah, you shuffle it back with the With the shufflers.
Oh, with the shufflers, right?
Yeah, this deck never runs out of anything.
Yeah. So there's the Magnamut. What a crazy card.
Yeah, we've seen...
The more I see Magnamut coming down, the more I'm like, wow.
We've seen so
this
much of
card
this tournament, of course, and this format, if you've been playing.
Everything.
It's just a truly heinous part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now.
Not only is it good for the fact that it acts as an extender and a DD Crow and a searcher, but it gets you like another DD Crow that sends a card from the field to the grave in the form of Jerusalem. Like, they really went out of their way to make these cards very good.
Yeah. With the knowledge that the Celiac probably doesn't matter too much, we're just going to use it here, I think, to get a Havness. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, in a scenario where our opponent is able to wipe our board, we want to be able to interact to some degree. And Havness does have a lot of viability. Say your opponent goes for chain blocking the field spell with the Hugin effect. You can fire it off. You know, there's a lot you can do. I was going to say, I don't think we've normaled.
Yeah.
So now we go for Herald of the Arclight. Okay, well, not exactly Herald of the Arclight, but it's something.
Oh. Okay, interesting.
Oh, do we have a Baron in our extra? We're just being silly. We're just being a little silly.
Just being a silly little scamp. All right.
It could come up. All right, so a couple of things to talk about here. Number one, we saw a card out of Flavio that does beat this board. In fact, we've seen several.
Yes.
One in particular that may beat this board. So Fuji is going to, it looks like Beatrice in draw phase.
Did we see it in the main deck?
I don't think we saw it in the main. We saw it in a boarded game. Going for a Guido here, like, no, dude. Like, I'm gonna hit what I'm gonna hit. Taverns. Oh, 2 Fountain is big. It may be
Fountain.
If they're only on the 2, which seems unlikely. It's possible that this forces them onto a Gary line, and Gary like does not line up well versus Rukulos. Heartbeat
Right,
the
there's
hit,
the
Sheer in
heartbeat.
the hit. Targeting the Celiac here. Why is chat mad at me for saying Gary? We get Kit Kalos here. We go Kit Kalos name. Then we can get Kaleido. I don't think we have a name. Unless we're going to use Kit Kalos here to put the Heartbeat in hand to potentially beat a draw phase Floodgate. That's really cute. Wait, that's like really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's really good.
Fuji's like, you merely adopted the runic stud. I was born in it. By the time I resolved a monster effect, I was already a man. I've been doing a lot of Bane today. I don't know what's up.
What? I don't know what board breakers actually are being played in the main right now.
Right,
So
here
we're
we
just
go.
all right. We're just going for getting rid of the cards.
So
we have all the shufflers live still.
We have used Mudora. So we have Keldo. And then
we did use Mudora,
maybe Havness. Maybe a name off the crime. It's fewer than you would expect. Going for Hugin here. We still have a field spell in the deck. Pitching Card of Demise. Yeah, that's not a very good one here.
Yeah.
So this is a weird position to be in, actually. If you crime the fountain, they do not have access to the fountain because... Wait, yes they do. I'm stupid. It destroys. All right, Slumber. Targeting Elf. That's 3. I'm going to try for Fountain here.
2 4s and a 3. Wait, uh, Smiting Storm is the one that does the number of cards they control, right?
It is, yeah. And I imagine that's what
Yeah.
we're holding Crime for. This is the
Yeah.
second shuffler that Fuji is using here to cut them off of additional draws. So it is possible if 2 of the 3 cards in hand do 11 to do it. Oh, fuck. That's going to eat the Crime. So it's got to be...
So we need...
Yeah, no. I was like, it would have to be like Smiting Storm, droplets.
And a 4. Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's no way. And as we learned last time, you can respond to you dying.
Yeah. Which is very interesting.
We've had a couple of Edo Pro mementos here tonight, huh?
Yeah. Makes for an interesting tournament, I guess. So going into game 2 here, obviously Runic is going to go first and really lean into the floodgates. That's really going to be their best win condition. But then game 3, we've seen how Runic flexes into stuff like Sphere Mode. So I don't know what Fuji's plan is going to be against the cards like that in game 3, because typically in this matchup, I would just assume that the Runic deck is going to, in their multiple draws, open up with something like a Rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I don't know. I don't know what Fuji's side plan is for going second for a matchup like this.
Here we go, chat. If Fuji wins, the CSM dies for good. That's literally true. All right, time for game 2. Who do you think is going first?
Runic, of course. I mean, I said that after they played the field spell, but
all right. So
still.
So here's the deal. Now, hear me out here. If you pass, they are on exactly Tip Slumber. There's no other runic spell that can be activated here. Holy shit! All right. If you pass, they're on Tip Slumber and nothing else. Okay. So why not? You know, if you don't have the material to interact with them, why not just be like, okay, I got time. Wow. Oh, it was evenly field spell. Okay, that makes sense. Tip and Standby.
Evenly is very interesting.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's a good one. That's decent. What do we grab there? Freezing Curses or Flashing Fire?
Yeah.
One of those two. Freezing Curses. All right, we are going Keldo.
Yeah.
Keldo's an interesting one because Keldo not only contests the draws off of Fountain, it also can wipe itself from the board to blank one of the spells. So if you don't want to commit all the way, you don't have to. You can even normal the Mudora, blank 2 of the spells, shuffle some cards away, and then they have to resolve one a little later, while threatening Zeus, just by virtue of normaling. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Now, once you overlay, you do kind of have to do it. You're going to have to go Redoer and just it is what it is.
Redoer is still very good at the situation because
you get to the entire time contest the draw, potentially blank their spells, and threaten Zeus. It's so funny. Yeah, here's the Zeus line.
Yeah, I think. I mean, unless they have Destruction, Flashing Fire.
Well, the problem is that they got Freezing Curses, which beats Zeus. There's the Flashing Fire. So that's really frustrating because now they go Redoer, and Redoer doesn't detach for effect. Or for cost, it detaches for effect. So if they want, they can chain Freezing Curses here. Looks like we're not.
Yeah.
Going to Fountain here because it did resolve, even if it resolves without effect. Go for 2. And if Fuji wants, he can go, Keldo here to tuck those 2 back and say, you're not drawing shit.
Yeah. So now it's just a game of just drawing with Redoer.
Putting the putting the Fountain back 2 to make Gary a little worse.
Yeah. This is a rough spot for Runic.
It is so frustrating when you play against someone who's familiar with the deck. It's just so frustrating.
Redoer is literally clearing. Redoer solos.
So now comes a second question. Crime is really, really good against this deck, but setting a card is really bad because Destruction is like the biggest high roll in the strategy because it's 4. Looks like we are going to go for something, a couple of cards in the back row. So whatever it is, it's something we want to develop. Holy shit.
Holy
Never mind.
crap. What is
They're
this
like
open?
really good. I have no idea what those could be even.
Even though this seems like, yeah, I mean,
draw, if we've found another Flashing Fire, this is a primo opportunity to get rid of Redoer. Here we are going to go for the Destruction. There's the high roll, hitting the center card. Is it crime? Are we criming this? It's like crime haveness in hand.
I think there's going to be a response.
It was crime. They got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. And banish the Heartbeat too. That's 1 down.
Still have
We're
the
gonna Medora.
Medora. Yep.
Shuffling the Destruction. I bet you shuffle the... You might shuffle the Evenly Match back too. You might shuffle the Crime back, yeah.
Yep.
Try and find it later. Feels so bad too. That's a Destruction effect, and if we had banished like a tier name off of the Destruction, we could have potentially added it to hand, I think. Oh, that's a sick draw. Wow, that's awesome. A draw that does not contribute to Fountain. Not bad. All right.
Going right for end phase. Oh, that's tough. And we
We're
still
gonna
have a
try and
shuffler
cycle
left.
here, yeah. Twin Twister. Twin Twister
They
doesn't
still
really
have the
do
Redoer.
anything if any of the set cards are runic. Maybe it does. Let's see what we get here. Oh, wow.
It's, yeah.
You're
okay.
just too good. What can I say? Sometimes
Yeah.
you're just a little too good.
Yep, that right there is a skill issue. That's just a skill issue.
That's what we call it in the business.
Yeah, I mean, Redoer literally does solo this. It dodges all the runic spells, and it was gonna get there eventually. I'm so curious as to why they kept Evenly Match in the main. That sounds so
I think
bizarre.
the concept is like there are scenarios in which you expect to be blown out in main phase 2 by a Zeus, and you want to be able to like contest a built board, but like it's a little remote, you know? It just doesn't seem...
At that point, you're just playing for a losing game state, though, which I don't know. That
Looks
one
like we're
seemed a little weird to
going
me.
Redoer
But...
in battle. I kind of like this. We're just like not even worried about threatening Zeus from this position. Just shuffle back the field spell, and that's really all we have to worry about anyway.
Yep. And the field spell has been cut off of so many draws up to this point.
We've
And
still
there's
even
still
got
a
a
shuffler
shuffler,
live in
yeah.
the grave. Yep. Wow.
All right, so what did they draw for turn? What do you think?
Doesn't matter. I just don't think it matters at this point.
Well, it's the card they took, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god! And we go again.
Come on, dog.
We're just time walking. We are time walking from this position.
Come on, dog.
It's completely unnecessary.
Oh wait, Reader was shuffled. I thought Reader was shuffled into the deck. He puts
No,
on top
it
of
tops it.
Oh my gosh, that card's crazy.
The concept is if you top it, you can equip it on your next standby phase. So like if we top it here, right, we can grab it. He's not gonna.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Guess I've never played against Redoer enough.
All right, what we're trying to do here is break the time seal.
Yeah, no kidding.
So he's Smiting Storm. We try to draw a card. We force the activation of the Redoer for the 1 draw off of Fountain. This is interesting. Gary in attack position means we have to clear it to do damage, and Gary does kill when it goes to the grave. But Fuji says, I will literally burn the last Keldo on this. I don't care.
Yeah.
Put that shit back in your deck. Enjoy your evenly matched.
It's just another trap for my
Don't
Redoer
book
to
that
take.
the Pot of Desires. That one, no. And since we're doing it in combat, we can, if we want, just walk Gary in. Redoer is going to tag out here. It's going to be met with the freezing curses we did know about. Sat on that for a long time. Okay, Gary does kill Redoer here. Whatever that last card is, it is going to need to draw 19 cards.
Yeah, it's got to be something very good.
We're also about to die, is the other thing.
Right. I mean, there is a world in which that last card is like a rivalry, right? Like,
yeah, we didn't really get a good rivalry activation. Looks like it's something chainable. All right, I mean, we're just going for it.
I mean, if it's a rivalry now, it doesn't even matter because they started with Sheeran and they can just play through it.
Yep, Merle is good enough.
Yeah.
We even get the crime. We even have the Rhino Heart. We must have a Halfness in hand. It is Slumber.
Yeah.
So we're going to Slumber, targeting the Sheeran to attempt to draw 2 here. Did not hit the trap, so we do get to add the Celiac. Rhino Heart, pitch the Celiac. Very funny.
How much are we drawing off this fountain? If it
Just
resolves?
2.
Just 2? Okay. I mean, I could do it. You never know.
Even if they're not crazy, if they're runic cards, they body block the Sheeran, which is enough.
Mm.
Let me see how we're doing on shufflers. We actually only have one more shuffler in rotation. We only have Mudora in the deck.
Yep.
Yeah, no, if we don't have a way to stop... Yeah, it was Havness. Exactly this fountain, we're really in trouble, which means, yeah, Kaleido hard time, baby. So, unfortunately, we're active players, so we Kaleido first, which means they get to fountain in a new chain, I believe.
Right.
Still fine, because without fountain on field, we can't activate the runic spells to body block. It would have to be like a Bestial. Like Magnamut lets us survive. And nothing. Flaviox says, you got it. And Fuji will win his 4th consecutive Chalislime Monthly. Yeah, this shit is over.
No.
Thank you all for enjoying the Chalislime Monthly.